He was reborn into a sect full of female disciples and had 7 senior sisters who adored him greatly. Originally, the man's name was Yi Chen. He was reborn into the world of cultivation, specifically the Tianxian continent. After Yi Chen and the others fell into the lake, he looked at second sister, who was drenched, and despite trying to control himself, he couldn't help but steal a few glances. Yi Chen discovered an unknown cave at the bottom of the pool. Just as he wondered who could have dug the hole, he sensed that someone had come to the shore. The commotion in the water attracted the attention of the peak master of Tianqi Peak, who unexpectedly sent someone to monitor the movements in the fallen dragon pond. Upon seeing this, Yi Chen hurriedly asked Xing Yi to restore the calmness of the water in the pool, and then followed the passage into a cave at the bottom of the pool, where he discovered a night pearl. Suddenly, the system prompted, "Congratulations to the host. You have found the hidden location, Sword Tomb, and received the reward of 10,000 swords, returning to Zhongju." It was at this moment that second sister woke up, looking dazed and resembling a fairy who had just emerged from the water with her soaked appearance. She asked in confusion, "What is this place?" Yi Chen, however, looked foolish and couldn't help but steal several glances while also responding that he didn't know either. Suddenly, Qingxue rushed out as if she had discovered something. It was said that somewhere in the holy land of Xianyuan, there is a grave of the sect's founder. Their cultivation bases are extraordinary, and each of them conquers the world with a sword. They were buried together in a hidden place because they thought their disciples were not talented and no one could inherit their mantle. Following that, Qingxue attempted to touch the grave, thinking, "After all these years, I wonder if anyone can inherit the sword of the predecessors." In the next moment, spiritual energy burst out from the sword, and Qingxue was suddenly puzzled, asking, "What's going on here?" Yi Chen rushed over to stand in front of Qingxue and warned her, "Watch out, this sword tomb must have an anti-intrusion spell. They're treating us like enemies. Xing Yi, hide behind me." Yi Chen looked serious. 10,000 swords flew towards them like a guided navigation, and Yi Chen released the golden protective shield. The sound of collision echoed constantly, while Qingxue struggled to defend herself behind Yi Chen. Yi Chen knew that second sister was still injured and wouldn't be able to hold on for long. He had to act fast before something happened. Thus, he used his ultimate technique and shouted, "10,000 swords, return." Got it. Yi Chen used the martial arts that he received from the system as a reward. "Seniors, the younger generation will accept your magic weapon with a smile." However, this surprised Qingxue, who asked, "Yi Chen, how did you do it?" Yi Chen also looked puzzled and said, "I just want them to return to their place." "Why?" Qingxue replied happily, "It seems that you have the approval of the ancestors who are willing to give you their swords." Yi Chen bowed to the ancestors and said, "I, Yi Chen, have received a lot of support. We will live up to your trust, strengthen the holy land of immortal fate, and regain its former glory." At this moment, spiritual flames appeared all around, which symbolized approval. Qingxue was scared and urged, "Let's hurry up and leave. Don't disturb the senior's peace." Yi Chen couldn't help but find it cute that his senior sister was afraid. He knew that they couldn't go back the same way since they might encounter an ambush. Yi Chen guessed that there must be other hidden passages in this place. Qingxue followed Yi Chen happily and asked, "Little Chen, what kind of adventure did you have to grow so fast?" Yi Chen couldn't explain it, so he lied and said, "This. I am also very baffled." Just then, they saw an upward passage that probably led to the outside. A giant rock in the forest shook violently, and Yi Chen's head popped out from below. The exit is just by the pond not far away. As Yi Chen expected, someone was indeed lurking by the pond. "Second senior sister, your sword is more severely damaged. Use mine. I'll take Xing Yi and follow you." At this moment, there were a few people sneaking around in another part of the back mountain. Surprisingly, it was the Snow Eagle sect who came to attack. Suddenly, a small fry next to him seemed to have discovered something. Qingxue happened to fly over them at this moment. She felt a slight hint of jealousy in her heart. "If it wasn't for Xing Yi, Xiao Chen would be with me on the same sword." "Calm down, Qingxue. What are you thinking about?" Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and Qingxue was blasted down from the sky. Yi Chen, who was following behind, was very nervous when he saw this scene. He quickly rushed forward. "It's you, little beauty. It seems like you can't escape from my palm." Upon hearing that familiar voice, she was instantly filled with fear. She was then held down by 2 little fries. Qingxue was furious. "You're from the Snow Eagle sect. How dare you invade the Xianyuan Holy Land?" However, the little baldy was full of himself. "Xianyuan Holy Land is nothing. I'll kick Xianyao Peak to the ground today." At this moment, a young disciple next to him noticed something. "Look, elder, this sword seems to be of the best quality." The little baldy didn't care at first. "What can this chick's sword have?" "What? This sword's appearance is indeed extraordinary, but why do I feel that I have seen it somewhere? It looks familiar." Just as he was pondering, a figure appeared behind him. The sudden appearance of Yi Chen scared the baldy. "Wah, it's you again." Yi Chen's face immediately turned cold. "I didn't expect it to be you too." "What, you didn't kowtow to me enough that day, so you're here again today?" "I don't have any money for you." The other party suddenly remembered the pain from that day. The little fries who came along heard the words and said a few words. Yi Chen opened his hand. "I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you, so let her go and give me back my sword." The baldy immediately changed his tone. "Ha, boy, you are arrogant and domineering because of having this peerless sword. Now that the sword is in my hand, let's see what you can do." Then, the 7 stars formation was activated. Qingxue was shocked to see this. "Are you crazy? You actually used the 7-star formation on a child. Little Chen, run. The little Baldy was excited for what this brat did to me. I wish I could cut him into pieces. The name is quite bluffing, but I don't know how powerful it is. Haha, you are so ignorant. This formation is the strongest sword formation of my Snow Eagle sect. You are unarmed and have nowhere to hide, and you can only be cut into flesh by the rain of swords. Wouldn't it be wonderful? Haha. Once activated, all the swords will transform into 7 sword shadows. However, Yi Chen remained calm and looked on. Alas, it is a blindfold. When death is imminent, you are still stubborn. Grind him for me. Activate 7-star formation. The disciples of Snow Eagle sect extended 2 fingers and began to cast a spell. Soon, countless sword lights surrounded Yi Chen's body. The situation seemed grim. It appeared that Yi Chen was not moving, and they thought he had been scared stiff. Second sister looked worried, and even Xing Yi, who was hiding in the forest, could only watch helplessly. Yi Chen had instructed her not to show herself since her strength was too weak. Ding Weiyang, who liked to hide behind trees, was looking quite smug. Suddenly, Yi Chen slowly reached out his right hand and said, "There are so many swords. Ha, then I'll let have half of them for you to have." This scared Ding Weiyang, who exclaimed, "What the hell is this?" The bald leader ordered, "It's just a bluff. The advantage is mine. The disciples, do not hold back. Kill him." Yi Chen was worried that he wouldn't have a chance to test the power of his newly acquired skills, so he decided to use them on his opponents. After a brief exchange of blows, the disciples of Snow Eagle sect were surprised to discover that Yi Chen's sword was not only 10 times more powerful than theirs, but his sword energy was also far superior to theirs. They realized that they were at a disadvantage. Meanwhile, the system sent Yi Chen a message. "Host, I now issue a designated check-in task to you. Expose the mastermind behind the scenes and subject the behind-the-scenes manipulator to palace punishment." The system was really naughty and seemed to be taking pleasure in rubbing salt in the wound. Even the bald leader saw Yi Chen's cunning expression and felt a sudden chill in his lower body, which made his legs tremble uncontrollably. He didn't know what was happening, but he had a premonition that something was not right. Yi Chen defeated his men with ease, and the bald leader realized that he had made a big mistake by coming to Xianyuan Holy Land. He tried to grab Qingxue and resist, but Yi Chen responded ruthlessly, and his sword shadow flew everywhere. He struck the bald leader with great force, leaving him no chance to defend himself. The people on the other side were frightened by this scene and quickly knelt down and begged for mercy. Yi Chen asked them, "What are you doing here at Xianyuan Holy Land so late at night?" The bald leader quickly explained, "I came here with a man named Ding. He was able to shut down the spell." Yi Chen seemed to understand what was going on and suddenly noticed some movement in the distance. He immediately waved his hand, and his flying sword flew towards it. Unexpectedly, Ding Weiyang saw that the other party had revealed his betrayal and was about to flee, but the next moment he was hit by a flying sword, causing him to roll on the ground in pain and cry for his mother. Second sister was also surprised by the situation. "Beast, no wonder our route back from the secret realm was known to the Snow Eagle sect. It turns out that you betrayed your fellow disciples." Ding Weiyang still didn't know how to behave and threw a bomb before fleeing for his life. Yi Chen pointed his sword at him and sent it flying towards him. "With these flying swords, you still want to keep me as rootless, floating weeds flying on grass." Unexpectedly, there was a sword that went directly towards his crotch, and he felt that the world was so beautiful in an instant. The system also sent a prompt at this time. "Congratulations to the host. You have completed the designated sign-in task and received the Tianqian 9 sword skill." It was really him who was behind the scenes. Looking at the other party's helpless appearance, second sister thought that he was still the one in charge, so she let him handle it himself. Yi Chen also took little Baldy to confront him face to face. The scene shifted to Snow Eagle Sect's Council Hall, where the Baldy number 2 was recounting Elder Wui's mission failure. On the other side, the red-clothed woman was hugging herself and saying, "We can't let them continue to grow, otherwise they'll be a threat to both of us." Yi Chen threw the 2 of them aside and said, "Your disciples colluded with Snow Eagle Sect and snuck into the Holy Land to plot some evil plans. How do you deal with this?" Yu Xiaofeng was taken aback by this news and was just thinking about how to deal with it when Ding Weiyang suddenly burst out with the news that he was Yi Chen from Xianyao Peak. However, this news was unbelievable because Yi Chen was just a child. Yi Chen did not refute this and said, "Yes, I am Yi Chen, but that is not the point now. Master, your disciples colluded with Suingmen and snuck into the Holy Land to plot some evil plans. How do you deal with this?" The little Baldy also spoke up and told the whole story. Yi Chen then threw him to the ground, and since there were witnesses present, they asked how to deal with the situation. However, Ding Weiyang was still being stubborn on the side, and Yu Xiaofeng immediately sent a shockwave at him, causing him to be knocked out on the spot. Yu Xiaofeng then thanked Yi Chen for his help and said that the younger generation who are unable to discipline must be severely punished. Yi Chen pulled second sister and left, and after they walked away, second sister asked Yi Chen unexpectedly the sect leader would hit with such a heavy hand. Ding Weiyang might. Yi Chen calmly replied, "Don't worry, he won't die." When a confidant colluded with outsiders, his first reaction was not to force him to reveal his secrets, but to beat him ruthlessly. Do you know what this means? This indicated that he already knew about Ding Weiyang's relationship with the Snow Eagle sect. He hit Ding Weiyang hard to catch us off guard. Qingxue felt a bit embarrassed when Yi Chen teased her, but she was also happy, and her face turned slightly red. After Yi Chen and second sister left, left. Ding Weiyang was rescued again. Yu Xiaofeng said to him, "Are you up already? Don't blame me for being mean. It's under everyone's watch. I have to give everyone an explanation. The injuries on your body have stabilized, but the yang root is absolutely incurable. But that's okay. You just need to stay with me, and you won't need that thing in this life. I told you that I only used shuiying to retrieve the treasures brought back from the secret realm by the other 3 peaks, and don't contact me afterward. Why did you let them enter the Xianyuan Holy Land to deal with Xianyao Peak again? Once things get big, how should I clean up the mess as a sect leader? But it's not completely in vain. It turned out to be that brat Yichen. That surprised me a lot. I unexpectedly got toyed with by a brat. After all, we have to get rid of him first. You can send a message to the Snow Eagle sect and come back, and then you can recover from your injuries in peace." That fearless elder was abused and killed by Yichen of Xianyao Peak. The scene shifts, and at this moment, Yichen and his mother Yi Qingwu are having an intense discussion. Yi Qingwu is very angry. "You mean the sect leader instructed Ding Weiyang to collude with the Snow Eagle sect?" Yichen explains, "It must be his plan to attack the Xianyuan Holy Land when his sister returns from the secret realm. After all, it was more profitable for him and the Snow Eagle sect to divide the spoils of the secret realm. But last night's attack on Xianyao Peak at night is not certain. However, what's certain is that the sect leader would definitely do something at the Xianyao Peak, and he had to be prepared to take strict precautions. Who dares to come to the Xianyao Peak to make trouble? I will definitely not spare it." Just then, there is a commotion outside, and upon seeing the arrival of another person, Yichen politely greets his senior sister. Zhao Xiao, who has just returned, looks curious and keeps studying Yichen. After all, it has only been a short time since they last met, and he has grown up so much. "Did you have a secret that you can't tell anyone?" However, Yichen has no way to explain, so he uses the old excuse. I took the medicine my mother gave me and suddenly grew up." As Xiao greets Yi Qingwu, Yichen immediately makes an excuse to retreat to practice in seclusion. Yi Qingwu is puzzled by this sudden move, but Xiao guesses that he is avoiding her. Meanwhile, in the closed-door cave on the back mountain, after Xingyi tidies up the place, Yichen lets her go back first. However, Xingyi does not notice a figure hiding behind her on the way back. Yichen recalls the memories of the original owner's body. Zhao Xiao and Yichen had the shortest age difference, and she treated Yichen with the most disrespect, often bullying him. "I'd better hide from her so I don't have to get in trouble." Suddenly, someone enters the cave, and Yichen thinks it's Xingyi returning and is about to ask her something when he sees a face with an unfriendly expression. "You left after my arrival, not to cultivate, but to avoid me, right? Tell me, how do you do it? Grow up overnight. What method do you use? Quickly tell me." Yichen hastily swears that it's not intentional, but 7th senior sister says she understands. However, she still wants to know the truth and mentions that she really needs it herself. As a girl, she worries about her chest not being big enough. Yichen must lead by example, and his dragon claw hand is not just for show.